want the title. It's that simple.
From Cincinnati, Ohio, weighing 131 pounds, he is the AEW Continental Champion.
Ospreay! You know, it's to your point, everybody wants to be world champion. I think not only becoming a world champion, but saying you can see Kenny Omega to be the world champion has even more special ring to it to me. Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, Kenny is more credibility than she was champ right there. And before we turn our attention to our main event, one more night that you are watching. All Elite Wrestling on TBS, brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Round out your protection with life, phone, and pet health insurance. Visit Progressive.com. Moxley making his way to the ring. It was some months ago that he vowed to make Will Ospreay the most dangerous weapon professional wrestling has ever seen. It was the training, it was the honing of that weapon that led Will Ospreay to winning the 2026 100 tournament. It would be that training that allows Will Ospreay to become the first British man to capture an AEW World Championship on English soil at Wembley Stadium on the 30th of August.
Notice that look that Kenny was giving John Moxley as he walked to the ring. Wow. What a distrust.
The team of Brian Cage, Jake Doyle, and the CML World Heavyweight Champion,
Doc Calis family looking at the heavy hitters tonight for this main event. Start fully intended. Jake Doyle, Brian Cage, absolutely close forward, but they compare them to some of the catch-up tags. Technique and finesse, a very difficult matchup for the opposition. Absolutely, and the experience of Hector and Cage. So, like, you know, that's another thing, too. This is not a walk in the park here for Kenny, Moxley, and Ospreay, in my opinion.
Well, I think there are a lot more issues on the side of Moxley, Omega, and Will Ospreay.
Also, you mentioned the withering look between John Moxley and Kenny Omega. Thinking back to the very first Dynamite Winter is Coming, December of 2020, Kenny Omega challenged John Moxley for the AEW World Championship that night in Jacksonville.
Yeah.
And it was the influence, the involvement of Don Calis that tilted the contest in the favor of Kenny Omega. That began Omega's first reign as champion. But it's something that Kenny Omega has come to believe, and I think rightfully so, has tainted that reign as world champion. Kenny Omega is intent on doing things the right way this time around. He's going to have his hands full with Kevin Knight this Sunday at Redemption, live on pay-per-view from Montreal.
That's why we saw that graphic of Ospreay and Kenny Omega at Wembley could very easily be the Jeff Kevin Knight.
That's why we have to give the caveat of as it stands, because as it stands today, Kenny Omega's world champion, but that could not be the same story at the end of the night this Sunday at Redemption. And we see at Cesaro, the mad scientist of Lucha Libre, so many inventive ways to attack an opponent and take them off their game, Taz.
Yeah, no, that's what Cesaro's good at, but that's a really good 2-on-1. 2 hands on one wrist. Now a little head scissor coming possibly here by head Cesaro.
Doing a good job taking hold and taking control of the surgically repaired neck of Will Ospreay.
Head Cesaro, he also has, obviously that lucha style, which is a different style than Japanese strong style.
It's not American tradition, and not even the typical high-flying Lucha Libre style. It's more that Yabe style of the Mexican submission wrestling style that you've seen someone like Helico incorporated for years. Tag made. Now, Kenny Omega seeing his first action of the match, courtesy of a tag by Will Ospreay. Full throated support for Kenny Omega here. Not quick tag out.
Smart. I think that was a smart quick tag out by the world champ right there. Because you want to get your opponent confused on what's going on. And another smart tag there by Ospreay. Just the frequent tags in and out makes it tough. And it's disorienting for the opponent. Yeah, that's my point. Yeah, exactly. And all three men working on the same thing, that left arm. Not changing up the tack at all. Look at this. Fans are digging this. Why not? Three of the greats in the ring against the CMLL World Heavyweight Champion.
And Cesaro reaching for a tag, looking for some relief. And Ospreay wants Omega to tag.
Ospreay.
Omega has been reluctant to
Ospreay.
Got the hand up.
Well, that's a I think,
Yeah, no, he's going to make sure he counters out of it and quickly makes a tag to Doyle because he's got a lot of offense put on his arm. Beating Cesaro.
Look at Doyle stomping down Jon Moxley in the corner. Not very many can match Jake Doyle for his aggression.
Well, we saw that one coming. Unfortunately for Jake Doyle, he felt it.
Now, Don Callis family taking advantage. And Brian Cage anchoring Jon Moxley in the corner.
I think I got to go back to Kenny's tag, that slow tag. It kind of derailed the team there a little bit.
Yeah, they had the momentum going in their favor. And that one opening for Cesaro opened things up. Now, tag made by Moxley, Ospreay into the fray. Quick series of catch with Doyle. Big elbow strike. And now Ospreay walks up the chest of Doyle. It's easy Gary, but Doyle heads up, move, tags out. The Brian Cage just comes in. The shoulder tackle.
Yeah, I'll just run over somebody.
Look at the delayed vertical suplex. Ospreay hammering down with the knees. Cage treats the outside. Ospreay are poised to take. Shuts Kenny down as well. Cesaro swept Jon Moxley off the apron, and now the Don Callis family taking advantage of the carnage. Brian Cage suplex for Omega and Ospreay. Who will leave Nashville? Your winners. We will find out in our main event. Don't go anywhere.
Don't go anywhere. We will find out in our main event. Don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere. Picture in picture. We are now live and taking a break, and now in picture in picture. AEW, All Elite Wrestling. AEW, All Elite Wrestling. All Elite Wrestling. All Elite Wrestling were the best.
is the CMLL World Heavyweight Champion. And what a story it would be for Hechicero to submit the AEW World Champion Kenny Omega right here tonight.
Yeah, the CMLL World Champion against the AEW World Champion. That would be quite a story. You're right, Excalibur. Quite a story.
And Omega trying to dig in the elbow, trying to make the throw over the ropes or perhaps over the corner.
He knows Kenny's in dire straits. He also on a tag and Kenny's reaching his hand out and doing the right thing for the tag.
Animated John Moxley reaching for the tag. Hechicero rolls over, captures the arm, and now Shuji Gatami is locked in. And Moxley, though, just in the stuff. Not the legal man, but he saw what his teammate needed.
It was the right move. It really was.
But Cage and Doyle, the strength just too much even for Moxley to overcome. Omega saved the day there for Moxley. Brought Moxley back down to earth, and now Moxley and Omega teeing off on Doyle and Cage. But Doyle and Cage change levels. Charging in. Doyle gets taken over the top. Cage goes down. Standoff there between Omega and Moxley, and Ospreay flying in the middle.
Saw his moment. Great timing with Ospreay.
And now the rapid fire attacks from the Death Riders. We've seen this. A big part of their playbook is Kenny Omega. He wants to get it out of the act. How about that? What a trio of offense coming into Hechicero here. And scores with a cutter. Doyle, wild swing and a miss. Ospreay over the top. Now Kenny Omega. Over the full Nelson. Too thick and strong. Roddy Cage powers out of it.
And you're right.
Moxley. A little bit of assist there for Omega. The German suplex. And now Omega. Snap. Dragon on Cage. Hechicero coming in. And trying to fight his way free. Moxley ducks underneath. Inadvertent knee strike. Took out John Moxley. And the guillotine. The flying guillotine from Hechicero.
That was close, man. Kenny was caught pinned by Hechicero. There you saw Will checking in on Mox.
It's a pump handle there by Brian Cage. The pump handle. Strike. His face and Jake Doyle. Just
that motherfucker hit him in the nose. He hit him in the nose. So that's
It's an excellent save by Ospreay right there.
Yeah, he had to slide around the referee to get there.
That's very impressive.
Now that time Cage said, get up top. I guess directing Hechicero.
Hechicero running to the top of Cage and Doyle controlling Omega and Ospreay. And Moxley shook the top ropes, disrupted Hechicero's balance. Ospreay and Omega back to their feet, drops down Cage and Doyle. Hechicero now perhaps last man standing for the Calis family. Trigger combination! Wow! Omega covers! And stars the way!
The team of the AEW Continental Champion, John Moxley, the area Jackson Will, Ospreay, and the AEW World Champion, Kenny Omega.
Despite the friendly fire, the inadvertent friendly fire between Omega and Moxley, those two and Will Ospreay were able to overcome and score a win over some very game competition here tonight, Tony.
Yeah, and the Dunn family has come to find
on. You hit that man with a fucking suplex. You hit him with a suplex with his shades on. Oh hell no. You hit that man with a suplex with his shades on. Hell no. That nigga shades was still on.